as you're somebody that's looking to get shredded and you've searched for the topic, you probably clicked on this video and first thought, who the hell am I and why you should actually listen to me. So my name is Tom Sergi. I'm an ex-British paratrooper and I now run a physique transformation program called the Gorilla Platoon. Why you should listen to me is the results you can see on the screen. They're what we deliver to guys, literally on a weekly basis. So I'd like to think they speak for themselves and I have a little bit of credibility, but I fucking live and breathe this shit day in, day out in terms of getting shredded, body recomp, and also going through that building phase. Now, as you also clicked on this video, it does say beginners, but the question is, who is this video for? And honestly, it's for anyone that's not actually been through a dieting phase yet. A lot of you have started training and just trained and ate well, and then lo and behold, you just ended up in a space where you're a little bit bigger, but you're a bit fatter, and you're thinking, right, well, what should I do now? This video will be perfect for you as well if you've not been through a dieting phase. Likewise, if you're just starting out on your fitness journey, you're in that weird space, you're like, I'm a little bit soft, I'm a little bit skinny, like, how should I go about my nutrition? How should I go about, like, getting down to a good level of body fat? This video will also help you. So my promise to you is that if you give this video your full attention, you will know by the end of it how to get shredded, and you can take this away and keep it forever and just revert back to it whenever you get stuck. So there's a 5-step process that we're going to use to get you there. So step 1 is setting up for success. This will be assessing your starting point. Step 2, data will drive decisions. So your question then is, well, what metrics do I need to track to drive these decisions? One of the biggest questions you may find is, what should I eat and how should I work out? Number 4 is probably the most important. How, when, and why to make changes to your plan so you can see results at the end, because ultimately you can't just start on one set of metrics and expect it to spit out a result at the end. The body adapts to things quite fucking quickly. And then the last one, when we get you there, how are we going to keep you lean? So let's roll straight in. The first thing we need to do is set you up correctly. We need to set you up for success. If we get this wrong, it's going to be a fucking painful process. Let me tell you that for free. So how do we set you up? We need your scale weight, whatever you work in, pounds or kilos, but just convert it to kilos for what I'm about to show you. Photos taken in clear lighting. Your level of activity, and then we need to establish the time frame. Now, I've got a tool that we're going to use to show you how to do that. And if you like the look of this tool and you want to get your hands on it, it's an Excel document, so you'd have to message me on IG. There'll be a link below for that, and send me your email and I'll send it off to you, or if we can send it in another means. Anyway, let's roll in. Now, when we set you up for success to get shredded, the main thing we're looking for is, what is your current body fat percentage? Because this is then going to dictate, where do we actually need to get to and how long is this going to take? So what we've got here is a graph of physiques that you can compare yours to, and it will put you in the right ballpark figure. This is how you could just do it at home. This is what we use to start off our clients on as well. So it works wonders. Honestly, like, you can try calipers. They're only as accurate as the man taking them. You can go and get a DEXA scan. I know you're not going to go and get a DEXA scan, so let's just move past that one. This is the next best option. So we're going to assess his body composition. Now, he is still got a little bit of ab structure. So maybe we could be generous and we'll say just below 20, but he's well away from 15% body fat. This is where a lot of you may actually be starting in. I don't believe a lot of you are starting from 25. Maybe you are, and that's okay if you are. It just means the time frame's a little bit longer, and we do a little bit of things with the starting nutrition. So let's say, for example, this guy is 18% body fat, and I know this guy was 88 kilos at the time. So we know we've got your, as discussed, we needed your scale weight and we needed your body fat percentage. We now got those metrics. We now know your lean mass, 72, and we know how many calories you need before you get out of bed. Now remember, I asked for your activity. That's because you're going to get your RMR and you're going to times it by your activity level. So this guy, and for the majority of you, you're probably sat around 155, train 3 to 5 days a week, and you're moderately active. If you work in construction, or like you're in the army, or you're something like that, and you're busy, then fair enough, times it by 175. Likewise, if you are really sedentary, you just sat on your backside all day, go for a 135. So we have a maintenance of pretty much 3K. That's his maintenance target. Now comes the important wizardry of what sort of a deficit do we put this guy in. And here's a rule of thumb I like to give out. If you are 25% or above, you can go quite great with the deficit. So with this, I would put that on 0.7. and it's going to take you down by about 700 calories. So for this example, so you could go quite aggressive when you're 25% body fat. Of course you can. You've got a lot of fucking fat. If you're sitting closer towards 20, I'd go 0.5% here, and this will pull you down to 2.5. Likewise, if you're 18, which this guy was, you could actually go not so aggressive. And if we go back to the results that we get here, a lot of these guys, 1, 2, 3, these 3 clients, as you look at them here, not that fat, not that muscular either. So you need to be careful if you sit in this category. If you go too low into a deficit, you're not going to have enough fuel to drive performance in the gym to build the tissue. Likewise, you can't go into a bulk because you're like 15 fucking plus % body fat. If you want to know why, I made a separate video on that. You can check that out after this. It's the last one. So you don't want to go in too great of a deficit. So for this guy, we could go 0.3 and play from there. And it just to get your starting point. Obviously, for the first week, you're going to eat this amount of food and you're going to track your nutrition. You're going to track your scale weight and you're going to see how it trends down. If it doesn't move, of course, your body's telling you, we could go in a greater deficit if you wanted to lose some body fat. So what this is then going to do is spit out your new target and also the macros to go with it. Your macros are set. So you've got protein relative to your lean mass times 2.4. Fat set to 20% of this target, and then the rest is filled with carbs to drive performance in the gym. So that is the initial setup, but then we understand, okay, well, where do we want to get to? And this is just some quick maths you could do at home. As a rule of thumb, I would say, take your lean mass and plus 8%. So we'll pull up a calculator. So this guy's lean mass is 72.1. We're just going to add 8% to this target. So he is aiming for around, you could round that up and say 78 kilos is his goal to be looking like lean and shredded. He's 88 currently, so that's a 10 kilo drop. Roughly speaking, this guy could knock that out in 12 weeks and that'd be absolutely fine. Now, of course, this is an estimate time frame and a guide. And roughly, if your adherence is not on, you're not on with the adherence, you're not on plan with it, then of course, your time frame will go a lot longer. But let's assume you're a dedicated person, you're going to watch this video to the end for starters to learn how to do it, you're going to stick to it to the end. You're looking at around 12 weeks, because realistically, you want to drop 1% of the scale weight per week, but where you're sat at like 88, you're pretty much looking at like a kilo a week. And that's pretty much what you should be aiming for, unless you're starting at like 75 and you need to get to like 59, for example, then obviously it's not going to be as fast. But on the flip side as well, if you're starting plus 20% body fat, those first few kilos should come off like kilo, because again, so much fat, so much adipose tissue. So we've got your start point. That was the first goal and the first step in the process that we needed to understand. We've got your time frame and we've got the setup. Now we need to think, what do we need to track? What is actually important? Well, the scale weight is going to be important. So weigh yourself in every day as a non-negotiable. The scale's not everything, so we do need photos which you're going to take on a weekly basis. And luckily, when you're dieting down to get shredded, you can put them side by side next to each other and they will tell a lot on a weekly basis. You need to track your nutrition because ultimately you'll get given a calorie target, but then if you don't track to know you've eaten that, you won't know you've eaten it, so you won't be able to make decisions the next fucking week. Like, this is all a formula. If you follow the formula, you will get the result. Track your workouts and specifically track the reps and the sets and the load you do so you know that next time you go to the gym, what to improve on. You're like, right, I got this time, next time I need to improve and get this. And that's how progressive overload is applied, and you won't lose and you will actually gain tissue. Sleep, you can track your sleep, but as a rule of thumb, go to bed and get up at the same time every day. Steps, track your steps so you know you've done enough. Roughly, you're going to be on 10,000 each day. Cardio, track your cardio as well. Just track the minutes and set your, for context, if I gave you cardio, you'd be looking like 120 to 130 heart rate, something non-impact, cross-trainer, treadmill on an incline as a walk, and a bike. And you do that for 20 minutes. The minutes get counted when your heart rate is at the relative heart rate. You can measure all your heart rates on the actual machine. Anyway, perfect. So you're basically going to track everything. Like, let's be honest. You're going to track every data, every gram of rice, every rep done in the gym, scale weight and photos. And that's going to give you like all the data you need to drive decisions. you can't skip this. If you want to get to somewhere in a certain amount of time, you have to do this. It may sound tedious. It may sound a lot. I understand that. This is why it's my job. And basically, I'm now a data analyst, and I fucking really like it because maybe I'm an analytical person, as they say. You just need to do this. You need to suck it up. You're going to do it for 12 weeks. You're going to get in the best shape of your life. Just fucking embrace it and enjoy looking at data and making decisions. The next thing we want to look at is your nutrition and your workout plan. So we'll start with your nutrition plan, and conveniently, this is kind of attached to this document here as well. So another reason to grab a hold. So what you want to do is first set your protein target. So you know how many grams of protein you're going to have, and then you want to look here at what options to take. Now, as a rule of thumb, I would maybe have one fatty option in the day and then the rest coming from lean sources. And the reason I say that is it's just going to be relative to the amount of food volume you get per cost of calories. When you're dieting, you want high volume, low calorie. So if you're having salmon and beef, mince and stuff, great, it's nice, have it once a day, fats are important, absolutely agree. But if you're trying to do that meal on meal, you're going to spunk your calories pretty darn fast. So just look at lean options to get in as well. When it comes to your carb options, the same applies. But when it comes to nutrition and carbs, what I want you to think about is what digests fast as a carbohydrate, put that around the workout. You don't want to be going to that workout bloated, like sluggish, because you're not going to be electric. You're not going to do everything you can to move the needle. I'm not saying you don't want to go in there with full glycogen. Of course you do, but you could get that from having the carbs, the starchy as such carbs away from the workouts, and structure it like that. Fat sources, you need to be careful with fats only because just know what you are consuming, they are quite tasty. They are quite palatable, as you could say. And when you're dieting, actually what you want is not a palatable diet. If you eat out, it's palatable. It's made so you come back and eat more because then they make money, obviously. But for you, when you're dieting, you actually don't want that. It would actually serve you, and you won't want to hear this, to eat a boring diet because boring is consistent. And when you're consistent, you get fucking results. And when it's boring, you don't just want to shovel loads of it in. So just think about that when you structure your diet. Like, people make these fancy meal plans and all this fucking shit and tell you can eat Oreo ice cream that they made, their own version of. Fuck off. Like, that's not what this is about. It's not what, like, you came because you wanted to get shredded, but it wasn't that you wanted to get shredded. It's that you want to look as the guy that is disciplined because you got a fucking six-pack so you could go and enjoy life and the fruits that come with that fucking character trait of you then get to reap the rewards of that. Like, it wasn't about the six-pack. It was about who you needed to become to get it. So don't be the guy that has fucking Oreo ice cream because you can. Like, fuck off. That's not who we are. So, and for context, if you haven't watched any videos on the channel, I go into that a lot. Like, this brand and what we're going for, it's all about the man you need to become to actually get to the goal. And that's something I'm heavily invested in for all my team and for the people that watched these videos before. So if you continue watching, you're going to get more mindset concept stuff like that as well. They're not just like, oh yeah, you could do it, guys. No. Like, look at your standard, look at your hot coal rock standard and be like, why is my standard for this aspect of my life so fucking low? And other people's is up here, and then I admire them that have this a bit. Fuck off, mate. Just raise your standard and be like, I don't accept anything less than this, and I'm gonna make it happen. Anyway, we won't go into that just in this video. We'll keep it structured to this. Fiber and the fruit and veg, you can use this because it's high volume, low calorie. Use it to pack out your meals with. So, look, 100 grams, and you're barely getting over 40 calories in some cases. Same with what you've got here with the fruit, like watermelon. Honestly, you could eat that all day. You'll just never put on body fat. It's fucking brilliant. Now, when it comes to the workout routine, what sort of a workout should you follow? And it really does depend. It depends on, firstly, how many days could you consistently go to the gym? Because people say, oh, how many should I do? It's like, well, how many can you stick to? Because ultimately, the most important thing is, can we train your upper body muscles twice per week? And whatever day you tell me, if it's 3-day, I'm going to make a program that fits around a 3-day split. If it's a 4-day, I'm going to make it fit a 4-day. And if it's a 5, I'll make it fit a 5. The ideal standard, I would say, and this is what I do myself, so you know I'm not fucking telling you to do some horse shit, is go 5 days a week, train legs once, the other 4 sessions are allocated to the upper body. Push, so chest, delts, and triceps. back and biceps on the next day, legs, rest, chest and back, so push and pull, and then arms and delts on the final day. The reason I do that is I want to bring up my arms and delts so they get in their own day. A lot of people, a lot of men that want an aesthetic physique, you should probably take that advice. You should probably give your arms and delts their own sacred day so you can go in fresh, do the heavy lifts on them, do the weighted tricep dips, do a fuck ton of lateral raises when you're fresh, not at the end of the workout when you've already toasted off the muscles. So that is how I would program. If you only could do a 4-day, I would do full body push and full body pull, and I'd repeat that times 2. And what that would look like is 1 quad exercise on the push day, everything else is chest, triceps, shoulders, and 1 hamstring day, everything else is back and biceps. And I'd probably go for something like a back squat, or a hack squat, back squat, leg press, something that's really fucking loadable. And when I say back squat, I'd be like back squat on a Smith machine, not just a freestanding back squat. Because the stimulus to fatigue ratio, again, that's another video I've done, just go and check that out. It's not as much juice worth the squeeze, so I would swap that. But you want to hit the muscle in the lengthened position because it's more loadable, and you challenge the muscle more. Likewise, on the pull day, I would do RDLs, just because of the pure bang for buck you're going to get when you do that. So that's what I do for programming, and I keep it nice and simple. Rule of thumb, train every upper body twice per week. That is it. Make your program fit that for the amount of days that you can adhere to. Likewise, if it's a 3-day full body, you're gonna make sure you're hitting each muscle twice a week. So it's pretty much gonna have a blend of push and pull and arms and shoulders in all of them, and probably a leg exercise in all of them as well. So you can try and hit the volume. The next thing we need to look at is how and when and why to make a change to your plan. This is probably the most important thing that we need to understand. So, when should you make a change? Well, remember when we said you need to track data. So what you want to track is, firstly, the scale weight. In the first few weeks, you're looking, how is the trend of the scale weight moving? Is it trending down? If yes, don't change anything. Don't fucking change anything, because there will come a point where the answer to that question will be no. Now, let's say the answer is no. What do you do then? You've got 2 levers to pull from when you're in a dieting phase. You've got your input and your output. Your input is the food you eat. Now that could be the first thing you look at, and you would just take 200 calories from carbohydrates and then run the diet again, and you've increased the deficit. Now you can do that. Another means of doing that is actually increasing your output. Now why do I say do that first? Generally speaking, if you can keep food as high as possible for as long as possible, are you going to be in a better state or a worse state to drive performance in the gym? Better, right? And if you're in a better state to drive performance in the gym, bearing in mind that the gym is the single greatest reason that you will build and retain tissue, would we agree that that's probably the most sacred thing that we want to savor and prioritize during this dieting phase? We would. So that is why I would say look to increase cardio. Now, when is that going to be an issue? If you're a busy as fuck person and any more than 30 minutes and you just cannot allocate 30 minutes extra a day on top of your gym session, then you're going to have to take from food. And fair enough. Like, enjoy the free time not doing cardio, but also cardio is fucking good for endorphins and thinking and all this other good stuff. So cardio is good. Obviously, steps I would always just set to 10k, and I generally wouldn't increase them until the very, very end. And you've already got cardio high, food is low, and then I'd increase a little bit the steps. I've done it in the past where steps have been the highest driving factor. It's just time. Time is a problem. Steps are nice, but it just takes too long, doesn't it? Let's be honest. I walk 10k every day, no problem. I could probably do more, but I don't really want to allocate the time to it, to tell you the truth. So they're the 2 levers you would look to pull. So how would you do it? You would either increase cardio. Remember what we said earlier? Start at 20 minutes, heart rate 120 to 130. Increase by 10 minutes every time you need to change it. You want to be doing something that's non-impact and doesn't accumulate fatigue. Or, like, to tell you the truth, I'm in an off season at the minute, but I've been doing like Muay Thai for the last few weeks, and that's how I get my cardio in, because it's like fun and functional at the same time. And why? Why do you need to make the change? Well, you need to make the change, and you need to know the how and the when, because if you don't, what will happen is you will make changes too quickly, If you don't understand when you should make the change, you'll make it, preempted it, you'll make it too quickly, and you won't have rinsed and repeated everything you could have done off the initial plan and the initial, let's call it a formula, the amount you were inputting and the amount you were outputting. So you're not gonna rinse that, and you're gonna keep taking yourself lower and lower and lower, and what will happen is performance in the gym will dip, motivation may dip, adherence may fall, and ultimately you just won't reach the goal. Likewise, the other way, if you don't track your scale weight, for one, and you don't know if you're making progress, you're going to think you are, and then you'll be like, right, fucking 8 weeks have gone by, I'm still actually not looking that good. So that's why you need to understand when and how to make these changes. And just look at it analytically. Take the photos, look at them side by side. Are you leaner? No. Make a change. So that's all I'll say on that. This is important though. Very, very important. If you get anything right, it needs to be this. So it needs to be your start point so you know where you're batting from, and then this so you can play ball. And then the last thing we'll speak about is reversing out of the diet. So let's say, for example, our guy, he's gone through a 12-week phase. He trained, and I'll go back through the plan. Our guy that we set up at 88 kg and 18% body fat, and we know we need to get him to 72, and it's going to take 12 weeks. Sorry, 78, it's going to take him 12 weeks. We know what we're tracking. We tracked all the metrics. We didn't miss a beat. The nutrition we planned accordingly, so it helped with adherence, because that's all it is. You need to eat the food so you can adhere to the training plan and also the calorie intake to get down to the weight. Our workout plan, we hit every upper body muscle twice per week consistently. We made progressive overload on that week on week on week. So we're in a good space. We're coming in nicely. We also made the changes by looking at the data and decided, okay, we'll make this change here. And then we saw the result and we rinsed that, and then we didn't see it. And then we needed to make another change, and we kept rinsing and repeating it till our food is quite low and our cardio is quite fucking high. And we're quite tired and hungry, but we are at the point. And you reach the goal. You're happy. And by the way, you want to know that you've reached the goal realistically by look. Like, you want to look at that photo and how you are in the mirror and be like, I am fucking sub 10%. I am a superhuman. I will fucking choke slam you, motherfucker. That's how you want to look. Like, no, you hit the goal. As a result, you'll be 8 to 10%. As a result of being 8 to 10%, you'll be whatever the scale weight reads. Do not be married to the scale weight. It's just a data point. The moment I tell you you're going to go from 82 kilo down to 69, you're going to be like, oh no, I don't know about that because I feel emasculine at 68. Just shut the fuck up. You're carrying excess amount of body fat. You need to pull that down. Ultimately, like, you're not shredding off muscle. If anything, you will build some. And ultimately, you will look bigger and better when you get down to that weight anyway. So just let go of the scale weight. The scale weight is the last thing we look at. The next thing is the body fat. The main thing is the visual when you get down to that. Obviously, in the beginning phase, you're going to have to look at the scale because your visuals won't change that much. But when you get down leaner and leaner and leaner, it tells everything. So you got to the goal. You know you hit the goal. The question is, how do I not fuck it up? Basically, how do I not stand on my own dick and fuck it up? And the way you do that is you reverse your way out. You didn't reverse, you drove your way into the bottom of the deficit. You now need to reverse your way back out of it. And you're going to do that as your first cohort will be to add 250 calories in the form of carbohydrates in and around the workout to continue maintaining those numbers. Because by the end of the 12 weeks, you'll be fighting to keep the numbers at where they are when you're in the gym. You'll be grafting for that. So the next thing you could do on the way out is to help yourself by increasing that fuel in and around the workout. The week after that, providing all went well, you would then add another 250 calories. Again, I'd say in the form of carbohydrates, but this time on the back end and the front end of your day, to really just build up that glycogen. And then off the back of that, I've then looked to do another one with fats and carbs. So you're looking at 3 reverses. But what are you reversing to? Your maintenance target, which will have changed. Like if we go back to the calculator, if this guy is 78 now and he is 8% body fat, his new maintenance is still pretty much the same, which is interesting. Okay. Fair enough. So his maintenance is still around the same. So we still need to climb him. Bear in mind, let's say you got all the way down to 2,300, 2,400. We need to climb him back out, but you need to do it gradually. If you just eat a ton of food, what will happen is you'll just put on water, you'll put on body fat because you're just not used to consuming that amount of calories. So the body will be like, we can't use all this. Just put it here for later. And we don't want it there for later. We don't need it there for later. It fucking gets stored in the shops. We can go buy it. We don't want to carry it. So that's the way to do it. We want to reverse back out, and then obviously you're going to go into your gaining phase, no doubt. So you're going to just slowly keep adding the food where you find numbers in the gym are starting to plateau out a bit. Add again another 250 calories to continue getting that performance in the gym, and that's how you do it. And that's how you hold the condition as you come into that gaining phase. And that's the absolute art and the goal, because now you've got your house built on a solid foundation. You're not trying to bulk from 15% body fat. You're bulking from 8. And your window now to go into a gaining phase is fucking huge, because you can go from 8 to 18 all the way. Like, you could bulk for 10 months on that, no problem. Why do you want to bulk for a longer period of time? Because it's smarter to just bulk for a long period of time, get into it, build tissue, build consistency, week on week on week, than it is to bulk for a bit, cut for a bit, bulk for a bit, cut for a bit, and you just never really make any real progress. The real gains are made in the back end of that bulk, for sure. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, subscribe to my channel right fucking now, because I'll just deliver more value like this. If you want to go deeper on this, you want me to do it for you, obviously I would love nothing more. Just, there'll be a link in the description, book a call, and we'll chat from there. It's the only plug I'm going to do. And likewise, if you wanted access to the calorie calculator, message me on IG, and we can chat from there. And likewise, do you know what? To be honest, recently I've been doing action plans for the subscribers. They'll message me their photos and their scale weight. They'll be like, what do you think? And I'll just do a Loom video like this on basically what the setup, time frame, where you are, where you're going to get to, and how long it's going to take to. I'm glad you found it useful. See you in the next one.